Now, with the impact that Bidenomics is having on the economy, is the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, Congressman Jason Smith. Mr. Chairman, thanks very much for joining us this weekend.
It's great to be with you, Maria.
Well, I want to get your take on the impact here, because even though we have seen inflation come down from the highs, headline inflation, we still see that essentials like food, fuel, rent continue to be elevated and out of our reach, expensive, outweighing our wages. Can you assess where we are in the economy today?
You know, Maria, working families are struggling just to put food on their table, clothes on their backs, and gasoline in their cars. Since the day that Joe Biden took the oath of office, inflation at that point was 1.4%. Now it's gone up 17.6% since he's taken the oath of office. The 20% lowest, poorest Americans, more than 80% of all the income that they make goes directly just for food and housing. People are struggling just to get by. In fact, the 80% of Americans have less savings than they did pre-COVID. So it's a struggle.
It's a struggle, and I understand it's about to get worse, Congressman. What is going to happen next year with regard to our taxes? He keeps spending money. The Democrats want to keep spending money. It's got to get paid for. So does that mean it's on us, the taxpayer, to see higher taxes?
That's exactly right, Maria. In less than 24 months, you'll see expirations of numerous tax proposals. In fact, every individual rate will increase. The child tax credit will be cut in half. The standard deduction will be cut in half. And the small business deduction will be eliminated if President Biden has his way. In his budget proposals, he's outlined that he wants more than $3.5 trillion in tax increases on all Americans.
Well, I mean, everybody's going to pay more taxes because he's spending things on the climate change agenda.
He's spending things on what benefits his friends and allies, which is the climate change proposal. I'll tell you, the policies of Bidenomics is making it so much more difficult for average day Americans just to get by. And apparently, the people that are benefiting the most from his policies is the Biden family.
So let's talk about that for a second, because it feels like he's giving China a pass here. Everybody knows China is the biggest polluter out there. As if they're going to do anything about pollution and stop, their factories producing products for the world, causing all of that inflation. Is it because he's compromised? Is that why he's giving China a pass?
I'll tell you, it's quite alarming. Why would you give the greatest threat to America as China a pass when it comes to stealing our intellectual property, when it comes to holding them accountable for COVID? You could go line by line of numerous things that this administration is not holding China accountable, and it gives you a reason. Why is he not holding them accountable?
Well, I mean, is it because they are among our biggest buyers of securities? I mean, they are the debtors, right? The people who are buying the securities. Is that the issue? Or is it because, as your committee and the Oversight Committee has told us, that they've taken in millions of dollars from China as a family?
Well, one thing, Maria, that we know is when President Biden was running for office, he said that his family did not receive any money from China. We know now that that's not true. He also said that he knew nothing of his son's business dealings. We know that's not true. He was, in fact, not only did he know about his son's business dealings, it appears that he's benefited from it. In fact, you saw a WhatsApp message that the Ways and Means Committee released with the IRS whistleblowers back last summer that said from Hunter Biden to a Chinese business partner that he was sitting next to his father waiting for his response. And guess what? Now we know with what Jamie Comer has released that the $40,000 loan payment that James Biden gave to Joe Biden of $40,000 happened to be 10% that came from that Chinese business official.
Yeah, and we've got it on record. 10% for the big guy was the arrangement that they made when they made the arrangement around CEFC, the oil company in China. I guess I want to get your take on what this all means. I mean, I don't understand really where this is going, but do you find it ironic that the president is constantly saying things like pay your fair share, make sure you pay your taxes, pay your fair share, and it's actually him and his son who have not paid their fair share? I mean, did they put any of that, the loan, on their tax returns, or is there also tax evasion here, which is what Jamie Comer told us a couple of weeks ago?
You know, it's interesting. One thing that we're looking at in the Ways and Means Committee, of course, is through the tax focus. And we have now seen checks going to President Biden of $240,000 as loan repayments to James Biden. But if you look at the president's tax returns that he has released publicly, there's no documentation of any interest income that he has received for any loans that he had granted towards anyone. So we need answers to those questions to make sure that people are being accurate on their tax forms.
Well, you've sent subpoenas out. Your colleagues have sent subpoenas out for Hunter Biden and family. Do you feel you'll get the answers then? When will that happen? Or will the DOJ blow off the subpoenas?
You know, we've issued subpoenas for a lot of individuals. Some of them have complied. Unfortunately, the Biden Justice Department has prevented some others to come forward, especially with the DOJ tax, which is quite important. As you said, we have subpoenas out there for Hunter, James Biden, and also several other members. Hopefully they'll come forward because we have to get answers to numerous questions that still are left out there.
Well, just to be clear, when are you expecting these hearings to take place? When will they come forward?
Well, they're supposed to come forward next month in December, and that'll be telling to see what happens in December.
We'll be watching that, Mr. Chairman. Thanks very much for joining us on this weekend. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and family. House Ways and Means Committee Chairman, Congressman Jason Smith.